what about Snowden? Do you think he has the balls to pardon Snowden?
Well, okay, so the thing about Snowden, right, is that, and now the Julian Assange case has kind of been taken off the table, even though I guess technically he could still pardon him. But that takes real political capital. Now, I think he should pardon Snowden.
How so?
But, well, I'm just saying that, like, Snowden pissed off a lot of very powerful people. The NSA are furious about him. The CIA, they don't like him. And they do not want to set the precedent that you can release the fact that we're doing a bunch of illegal shit that we are lying to the American people about, and then you can go tell them that we are, in fact, doing the thing that we lied and said we weren't doing. They don't like that. There's going to be powerful forces that'll oppose you. Ross Ulbricht doesn't, it's not like that.
No, I completely understand. But
if he were to pardon Snowden, that would be a real signal that he is willing to take on the deep state. He's willing to take on the real powerful entrenched interests. Now, again, I'm not claiming to... It's obviously the right thing to do, morally speaking. But you got to have a really smart strategy if you're actually going to do this. You know, I remember one time... during the Ron Paul presidential campaign, I think it was in 2012, and someone asked him, you know, like a question about, like, when you're in there and you're president, are you going to tell the CIA, like, hey, you guys are done, and you're this, and you're this? And he went, well, I might say it a little bit nicer than that. He was like, listen, I am trying to abolish the CIA, but let's be cool here.
Well, let's just let's look at this for what it is. So if Edward Snowden, if he really did expose things that were illegal, that were not supposed to be done, and the fear of bringing him back is that the people that did the illegal things want to continue doing illegal things and don't want to have any repercussions for doing illegal things. That seems like a crazy thing to support, even for them to defend it. Sounds insane. They should want internal accountability. They should want to make sure that no one colors outside the lines, and no one does anything without congressional approval, all the stuff you're supposed to do when you're doing certain things. But the problem is now with the FDAA and FISA and all these different laws that have been passed that allow surveillance to be done warrantless. Like, it's kind of a moot point almost at this point. Like, the things that you would, like, back then he exposed that they could listen to every call. They have data centers. But we all know that now. Like, everything's still functioning, but we all know that now. The guy that exposed all that, leave him alone. You're doing illegal shit, and now it's kind of legal, and we still should be outraged, but now you can kind of just do it.
Yeah. Well, and also, and one of the things that was so disappointing about Trump not pardoning Julian Assange and Snowden in his first term, and again, a lot of that is because it's like when he told you, why didn't he release the JFK files? Well, because he was listening to Liz Cheney's pick for defense secretary, Mike Pompeo. People convinced him not to do it. But it's like, at a certain point, you're like, okay, first of all, the spying that Snowden exposed was weaponized against you.
Right.
You're like, they spied on you. So you kind of, I would think you have some, like, stake in being like, yeah, that should be exposed and should be abolished.
But don't you think he didn't pardon him because he wanted a second term? And he wanted to, like,
I think
make things run as smoothly as possibly, and to try to they're compromising. They're making deals here.
Yes, but he also had a lame duck period. I mean, he had a period where he knew he wasn't going to have a second term and still had the power, but he was worried about the impeachment.
And he wanted to run again.
Yes.
He always wanted to run again. He was going to run again. He was like,
I think so. Yes.
Fuck you, I'm running again.
Yes. So there's a fair point to that. Maybe now Donald Trump gets in, and I do think this is what the corporate media and all of them are really terrified about, is that now he gets in and he doesn't need to win another election. I mean, he'd like to win a midterm election and keep he's got the Senate now. We'll see. The House hasn't been determined yet, but he'd like to keep, congressional control within the Republican Party. But he doesn't need to worry about a re-election now. If he really wanted to be the drain the swamp guy,
yes,
he's got an opportunity now where a lot of things have aligned, where it's like, I think he could really get it done, and I think he could get away with it. I think that he's taken all their bullets, both literally and metaphorically. He's been impeached. He's been convicted of felonies. He's been shot at. He's been, like, all the things have already happened. He's been demonized in a way that no public figure has been demonized in any of our lifetimes.
And he
survived
only
all
made
of it.
him more popular.
Yes, he's